This is SCHG on the 5-minute time frame. I'm going to show you the price targets for Wednesday. This is a large cap growth ETF, and thank you to Murat for pointing this ETF out to me. He's talked about it many times in the past and suggested I take a look at the year-to-date and one-year performance, so I thought I would do that right now. First up, we ended the day at $71.99, down more than 1.5%. The 52-week low, $53.18. The 52-week high, $78.50. Now, taking a look at the performance. For the 3-month period, we are down nearly 2%. For the 6-month period, we are up more than 12%. Year to date, more than 28% to the upside. And the 1-year performance, 26%. That is incredible. Right now, though, the technicals indicate this is a sell. And let me show you what is going on right now. To the north side from where we are takes us back to the middle of the trend. And in this case, resistance at $72.18. If we make it to this level, I will anticipate a little bit of a pullback as people take their profits and they run. Should we continue to the north side after that, the next level I'm looking at is 2 standard deviations, and there's also a gap to the upside at 72.68 right here. The gap closes out at basically 3 standard deviations at 72.79 and at 4 standard deviations and another level of resistance and take profit area, 73.18. If we make it to this line, or this line, I will anticipate a pullback as people take their profits and they run. Note, if you've looked at enough charts like I have, you will see that no stock stays basically at 4 standard deviations without falling apart later. It just doesn't happen. The stock consolidates, goes down, moves sideways. It could move another leg up, but after consolidation. And many stocks, they will ride at the middle of the trend. The trend could be going down, in this case, SCHG is, or it could go sideways. All right, to the south side from where we are takes us to -2 standard deviations at 71.69. I will anticipate a bounce at this level. At -3 standard deviations, 71.43, and at -4 standard deviations, $71.18. What I don't like about this on the 5-minute is the downward trend that we are seeing. Now, I do want to show you something that we can look forward to, and that is a gap to the upside above the gap that I already talked about, and that is at 73.56 and closes out at 74.13. Now, SCHG has a lot of baby gaps. I really don't look at those. They don't interest me very much, but the ones that have the bigger gaps, I do like, because for me, that's sort of an easy play because a lot of gaps get closed to the upside and to the downside. And the RSI is at 52 and going up right there. So we have plenty of room to go to the north side before we hit 70, which is a key area. If we make it up to this level, I will anticipate a pullback. And the MACD has crossed over to the upside and we're looking green, so that's good. So hopefully we'll have a green day on Wednesday. And one other thing to note. See how we touched -2 standard deviations and there was a bounce and we went to the middle of the trend, which is resistance, fell down again, back up again, which is another level of resistance, and then back down again. This whips you around, okay? And then anytime we get close to 2 standard deviations, note the fall down as people take their profits and they run. This happens, it's clockwork. And I always anticipate a stock to stay within -2 and 2 standard deviations all day long. -2, -2 and 2 standard deviations. All right, until we bounce out of that. And anytime we get out of that range, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. If we go down, I will anticipate a bounce as people buy the dip. It's not going to stay down there forever. It will go up. We're talking quality stocks here, not just some junky stock or penny stock. All right. And I'm going to flip this now to the daily. Oops, let me delete that. I was going to do a video back in June and I never got to it. And look where we were in June here at 73.39 when I last looked at it. So you had an opportunity to go to the upside, closer to 2 standard deviations, fell down, tried to go back up, and then fell back to the middle of the trend. Consider the middle of the trend the resting place before action to the upside or to the downside. All right, we are right here. And I'm going to delete this yellow line there that I just created, just so it doesn't look messy. All right, we are here. To the middle of the trend takes us back to that gap fill that I was talking about, 74.13. And at 2 standard deviations, that will take us to $83.13. And to the south side at -2 standard deviations, $64.88. Obviously, many levels in between. That's what I use the 5-minute time for and the 1-minute time frame. But this is a big picture look. And the RSI going down, if we hit 30, I will anticipate a bounce up as people buy the dip up here. I just use RSI as a form of support and resistance. And the MACD has not crossed over to the upside yet. So when these two things are running to the upside, I will then anticipate this to go up as well. On the monthly time frame, the RSI going down at 55, the MACD crossing to the downside. Is it going to cross and do this, or is it going to cross and then go down and then go right back up? We'll have to track that. All right, and one other thing I want to show you. Obviously, they do not give us price predictions for ETFs, so you have to make your own. And I'm going to check this out on the monthly time frame. And I'm going to clone this. And I'm going to put that right about here. So my prediction is possibly up to $104 maybe by next summer, give or take. And we'll revisit this a year from now. And if I forget, please let me know if you're keeping track. All right, that's back to the weekly. So on the weekly, that's how it's looking. That's my price prediction. This is very crude, but that just gives me a target to go and look forward to. All right, that does it for me. If there is an ETF or a stock that you would like me to go over, please let me know. And you know what? As a little bonus, let's just take a look at Tesla for today. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame. All right, we are at $244.13. To the north side for Wednesday takes us to 247.42, 250.09, and 253.01. And to the south side, middle of the trend, 241.54. To the south side of that, at support, 235.76, 232.91, and 229.98. Note, we hit -4 standard deviations, and what happens at support? A bounce to the upside. And if we are down here and we're going up, this turns into resistance. busted through resistance. This turns into resistance as well and starts to grind around, falls down, busts through resistance, falls back down. It's not going to be easy, right? Then tries to go up, doesn't, goes sideways, tries to get to another level of resistance, back at the middle of the trend, does not make it, falls down. We chop around sideways, back up to the middle of the trend, and from where we are down here and we are hitting this line, that takes us to resistance. And we do bust through, but not for long, back down, sideways, up to nearly 2 standard deviations, which you know is never going to stay there. At some point, it's going to go down. It did, goes sideways, and history repeats itself. All right, now that does it for me. Thank you so much for watching.